This video is going to be closely related to a video made previously. I think it's called The Identity of an Artist. So I want to expand a bit on that. I can't remember exactly what I said in that video, but basically it's along the lines of desire causes suffering, and I want to talk about the suffering that can be related, the suffering that's related and connected to what your passion is. So my passion is creative stuff. I mean, I suppose anyone's passion is a creative thing. I suppose you could look at anything as creative. So my passion is mainly filmmaking and music, and that's my passion. That's what I'm interested in. That's what I like to create. Now, the problems that arise with this is the desire for an outcome. You see, if you're really in the flow creatively, there is no expectation of what you're creating, and there is no anticipation of any kind of outcome, and there is no expectation of an outcome. There is no desire for an outcome. The creativity is purely just something that you do because it's enjoyable. And this is the thing, where the problems arise, is that when you start creating for other reasons other than because you enjoy it, then it doesn't end up that well. Although I think there is an exception that, sometimes you are really dedicated to this, and you spend your whole day doing this project that you're really dedicated to, and it might not be enjoyable for the whole day, But then again, I don't really know, because I know of projects that I've worked on non-stop, day after day, doing nothing else but doing this one project for the whole day, hours and hours on end for days. And I've noticed that, that causes a lot of stress, and it's so, this is what I really want to talk about, is this relationship between the suffering that comes along with your passions, and I don't know, so I wanted to make this video because I've just been editing a video recently, and and I've just been editing it when I feel like editing it. And that's the thing, is that sometimes that's not how it is. Sometimes I'm like, what should I do? Oh, well, I've got to edit. I've got to do this thing that I started. But it's like, I don't know. It's like, if you don't finish what you start, was it something that was that important for you? If you don't finish something that you start, is it actually that significant for you? Is that something that you really want to create? And that's the thing, is that I've got so many things that I've started that have not finished, so many things that I've got but have done nothing with it. And I suppose there are other reasons for that, like there are other reasons, like not having the resources for what I want. You know, I might write a script for a film, but I might not have all the resources for that. I might not have, you know, the people I need for that, you know. And I could go out and find the people for a film, but I don't know. I feel these days more inclined to just do what feels right, to just go with that flow. And it's like, if there's some like obstacle in the way, of creating something that I want to create, if there's some obstacle, it's like, if I truly wanted to create this thing, I would go through that obstacle. I would overcome that obstacle. I don't know, like, just seems like you do the thing when the time is right. Like, an example of this is, I sometimes look back at videos that I made when I was like a kid or a teenager, of like these silly short films that I would make with my friends. And in the past few years, I've had thoughts of like, damn, like, I wish that's how life was now. I wish I could just make silly films with my friends. Oh, but I don't really have many friends right now, and I don't feel that silly right now. And that's the thing, is that it's like, things change, and you're not in control of how things change, and that includes yourself. You're not in control of like the conditions that change you and that change other people. And as much as I desired to make silly short films with friends, it's like, is that what I needed? And the thing is that I have actually recently made silly films with friends, you know, like, and that came about spontaneously, just like it came about spontaneously when I was a kid or a teenager. And that's the thing, is like, what I'm trying to say here is that if you really try to do something, it's like you're going against the grain of what life actually wants for you. Because when I had these thoughts of like, oh, I wish I could make these silly films that I used to make, I wasn't in the best headspace then, you know. I was kind of feeling depressed and whatever else. And that's the thing, is that if the opportunity arose to do that, like, well, it just didn't, because, you know, like the way you're mind is like it aligns with your outside world, you know. It's like the opportunities that arise reflects, you know, where you are in your headspace. And if you kind of get what I'm saying. So what I'm trying to say here is that I'm more inclined to just go with the flow with creativity, not try and force anything. And this is just me, like, I'm sure for other people it's beneficial to be like, all right, I'm doing this project no matter what, and you know, I'm really gonna strive for it, and I'm gonna make it happen. And like, that is good sometimes. Like, for me, sometimes that is how I do it. Like I said, like sometimes I spend days on end doing that kind of stuff, just really striving to get something done that I'm happy with. And sometimes that is a form of, you know, going with the flow. I don't know, it's just really about feeling yourself and being like, I don't know, it's hard to say, it's hard to talk about, but like, just when you have like an idea of how you want something to be, like this expectation and this vision, this outcome in your head, like, I just don't think that works so well. And I think, like, I've like written some screenplays, like some scripts for short films, and in my head I'm like, I've got like every shot, I want to get every shot down in my head. It's got to be perfect. And that's the thing, is like perfectionism. That's the other thing, is that it's just a lot more enjoyable, and it actually works better if you just let things happen. Because the way you've got things in your head, like the vision that you have in your head, like, I've got to get this thing done, like specifically the way that I'm envisioning it. Like, if you bring that, if you're working with other people and you try and bring that with you, it doesn't work so well, because what's gonna work is the energy of everybody. And you see, everybody brings something to the table, and that creates a specific energy, and you use that energy to create something. Whereas if you came with your specific energy and was like, we're gonna create this thing, it's a lot more of a forceful method. And that's where suffering comes in. That's when you start stressing, like, I've really got to get this thing done. It's not working how I want it to work. But if you kind of just forget about your vision of how you want things to go, I mean, of course still have a structure of what you want, but if you're more like freeform, if you're more loose about it, and you're kind of more like anything goes kind of thing, it just works a bit better, you know? Rather than trying to, I don't know, this is hard to talk about. Like, I'm still figuring this thing out. But I definitely notice within me, like, it's funny, like, I notice myself not listening to music, specifically because I don't want to get inspired by it. It's like, oh, I really want to like listen to this song or this band, and it's like, I can't bring myself to do it, because what will happen is I'll get inspired to do it. This rush of excitement will come over me, and I'll want to do something. But this particular energy that 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 I have from that is, it's like, it's a kind of envy. And like, I listen to a song and I'm like envious of that, and I'm like, I want to create something just like that, and I want to be that. And you know, like, it's not an appreciation of it and then just, you know, naturally being inspired. It's like, that was so good, I want to make something exactly like that. And it's like this envy, and it's kind of like I want to be recognized as doing something like that. So it's also like an identity thing. And I don't know, like, it's interesting. And yeah, like I said, like, perfectionism is a big thing as well. And perfectionism requires that you have a vision of what you want the outcome to be. If you don't have expectations or desire for something to come out the way you want it to be, then there is no perfectionism there, you know. So yeah, I've just been editing this video, and like, I just notice when I edit some videos, it's like, I notice myself just not enjoying it sometimes. Like, I'm doing the same old thing, and it's like, and I recognize that I'm doing the same old thing because I've got this vision in my head of this particular style that I want to make. It's like, I want to make this particular style, this particular genre, this particular vibe. And I've got to let that go, because I think when I have this thing in my mind of like, I need to make this way, it is wrapped around an identity. It is wrapped around, like, I want to be perceived as this person. Even if it's just by myself, like, even if it's just like, I want to perceive myself as this, you know? Because I think ultimately, I think a lot of us think that we're trying to be this person for other people. We wear this mask for other people, but I think actually we wear this mask for ourselves. We do it for ourselves. Because who else is there to do it for, you know? We only know ourselves. We only know our mind. There is no other minds in our direct experience, you know? Anyway, just some thoughts here. It's getting dark. I don't really know what else to say. Like, what I'm trying to say, I guess, is just like, do things when you get the drive, like, do creative stuff or your passion or whatever, when you have the drive to do it because you want to just experience it. Simple as that. If you get the drive to do it because you want to create something and like have a finished product so you can be proud of it, or so that you can be perceived a certain way, even if it's just by being perceived by you, then it's not really a genuine desire to create. It's an egoic desire, you know. And I do notice this difference within myself. Sometimes I'll get the desire to just pick up the guitar and play. And I'll start playing, and it's really enjoyable. And then I notice I start, when I'm playing the guitar, I start shifting into this other desire and this other drive, and I start, trying to write a song, and I try and write it a certain way that fits with the style, the outcome that I want. And then I notice myself not enjoying it. I'm in my head now. I'm thinking about it, and I'm not. If you want to think about it, of like left brain and right brain, it's like I'm in the left brain now, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm not actually enjoying it and just flowing with it. And I noticed that within, yeah. So it's interesting. Try and be aware of these drives within you, like, because being creative is not always it's not always good, you know. And you have to notice, it's very subtle, but you have to notice, like, is this drive within me to create coming from a desire to just experience this creativity in the moment and to just explore and to just have fun? Or is it to create something for the finished product of what I'm creating? Or, is there any other desire for it other than to just enjoy it and experience it? Because I think that's what creativity is all about. It's just about enjoying it, experiencing it. It's not about getting it out to the masses, or it's not about constructing an identity around your art. Like, it's just for enjoyment, and this is hard to do, I think. But anyway, it is getting dark. I'll see you later.